Hello! And welcome back to the Horror Herald.
2029.
2029 is the year.
It is currently 2029. It is very nice. The temperature is always warm.
I'm just so happy to be here in 2029.
I'm so happy to be the same age that we were in 2020.
I don't know when it was. But it has to be 2028.
Yeah, when it was 2028. I feel like I haven't aged.
Yeah.
A day.
Sorry, I hear a vibration. 1 second. Hello? Yeah, we're doing the podcast. Yeah. They're saying, we're just saying happy 2029 to everybody.
Yeah.
What? You son of a bitch. No, it's 2029. No, it's not 2023. What the No, it's 20... No. What? It was a prank? Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, God.
Who was that? Who was that? Is that Albanese?
It was Anthony Albanese.
Fuck!
I was like, how would he still be in term? And it's like, oh, it makes sense. We're still in 2023.
We're still in 2023?
We're not still. I mean, it's a new year, apparently, 2023.
I thought 5 years had passed.
God, yeah, me too. Or 6 years. 7 years.
Anyway, let's talk about this fucking dumb movie.
God damn it. Anyway.
Welcome
welcome back to
Apparently,
the Horror Herald.
2023.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Let's not talk too much. We're not going to get into it.
Anyway, sorry. Hope we didn't lose you there. Hello, we are the Horror Herald. If you have never heard of us, or that's fine, not many people have, but we love reviewing horror movies, and this is our first episode of the year. 2023. I know it's February. Why releasing one now? Sometime mid-February. Well, just because we've had a busy month, end of year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was off in the Europe. You know,
you were off in the Europe,
observing the sights and taking some bites.
Where they filmed a lot of other movies.
Yeah, and it was lovely. But now we're back. We're excited to be back.
We are excited.
And what a way to start off this year by reviewing. What's that? Is
that a knock?
I think it's a knock.
It's a knock. At the cabin.
At the cabin.
Not the cabin door, as I commonly miscommunicate it.
Knock at the cabin.
Knock at the
door.
cabin.
It's knock at the
cabin.
Knack. You remember Knack? Great PlayStation game.
Oh,
Knack.
Fantastic.
Knack 2, even better. No, but yes, we're happy. We're happy to be back. We're excited to be back in the studio. Last episode, we weren't even in the studio.
No,
so
we weren't.
It's good to be here and talking to you and being together while doing this. So this is awesome. And very exciting. But of course, before we start, we have to do a little thing. We have to mention our sponsor. Do not click away. Do not skip.
This is an actual
Don't worry.
real thing.
This isn't, Raid Shadow Legends.
No.
It's a cool sponsor. See, if you scan this QR code right here, you get brought to a very special website, and the website is the seesawreviews.weebly.com. That's right. Scan it right there. It's really good. Trust me. The sponsor had a little fun thing they were doing. Basically what these sponsors are just fun, random websites that, could take maybe max 5 minutes of your time. That's just really fun.
Yeah.
And this one's called seesawreviews.weebly.com.
Which I haven't seen.
Which you haven't seen, but...
I have not seen Saw.
You not seen the Saw?
I have seen Saw.
Wow, there you go. But it's good. Please check it out. But now that we're done with our sponsor, time to get to the news. This week's horror news is probably going to be old news by the time you see this video, but that's okay.
They don't need to know that.
What's the first one?
What is the first one, Leo? This is your segment.
Here we go. The first... Oh, yeah. Louis already knows it, though, but I think it is worth...
What is it?
Touching upon...
What is it?
Viral video series The Backrooms is going to be adapted into a movie by A24.
It being A24 is a sign that it's going to be fucking weird.
Well, yeah, it should be.
Yeah, I know it should be, because I know, but if it was like Warner Bros. Or if it was like... New Line. I'll be like,
it's
okay,
gonna be like
it's gonna
Slender
be
Man or something like that.
But because it's A24, shit, dude. I don't know.
It's weird how with like A24 you always feel hopeful because they really let filmmakers do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm kind of excited for with this. But what's really interesting is that the original creator of the Backrooms, Kane Parsons, who's only 17 years old, at least right now, I think, is going to be directing this film at 17. And that's crazy.
That is shocking.
Unheard of. Probably has been done, but I don't know. But that's amazing.
Feature movie.
And you know it's great because the original creator is going to be doing it. It's also produced by James Wan, wouldn't you suspect? So he's doing a lot of producing.
Let's go to Atomic Monster.
But that could be cool. It's not going to be written by...
I'd assume
Kane Parsons. I think, of course, he'll have involvement, as directors do.
Of course.
But it's going to be written, if I'm not mistaken... Okay, Emmy-nominated Roberto Partino, sorry if I mispronounced that, I know you're listening, was the creator of a showrunner of HBO Max's limited series DMZ. Have you ever heard of DMZ?
No.
Nah, me neither, but I'm sure it was good.
Interesting, yeah.
I think he's also written on Westworld.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Sons of Anarchy.
I don't know why I assumed Westworld, but yeah.
But it's cool. It's got lots of producers. Sean Levi is producing, which I think produced Stranger Things. So
Adam's
yeah,
Project.
I mean, there you go. I mean, lots of great names attached to it. What's really funny is there was a statement put out saying that Parsons will direct this film over his summer vacation.
That is
very
such
a funny, cool thing that like. I mean, the Backroom's got 100 million views, like over 100 million views, just the series itself. So it's got the name is already out there.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's just, and I feel so great for the guy, for Parsons.
Yeah.
I hope this is awesome. I hope this leads to other cool stuff because it's a cool concept. I mean, I don't know too much about the law. You probably don't know too much about the law.
I've know a bit, but not that much.
Yeah,
yeah.
Power to him. This is awesome, and I'm gonna watch it, and I know my brother's gonna be excited to watch it as well because he loves the Backrooms. But now for the next part, what's next? News story.
What is next?
Acclaimed Scott Snyder horror comic Witches is going to be adapted into an animated series.
I love some.
I know,
freaky witches.
That's why I put it down. But I
didn't see that. That guy's so cool.
Yeah, it's a. Let me get it up. It's gonna be. It was based off a horror comic. Scott Snyder. He's done lots of horror, not horror, but lots of comics. And he's done lots of stuff for DC, and it's based. It was an Image comic, and it tells the story of a 17-year-old sailor, Sailor Rook. He's either a sailor. No, his name is Sailor Rook. And the Rook family as they move into a small New Hampshire town following a tragic accident. They want to start over, but realize there's an evil lying in wait in the woods just outside of town. Oh, the woods. Witches in the woods. Ooh. Ancient creatures that feed on our deepest fears and hopes. And it's a cool story about witches. Scott Snyder, not Zack Snyder, talked about this being a really personal project to him, like when he made the comics. So it's
when he got attacked by witches.
Witches,
really inspired him.
God, I mean, haven't we been attacked?
We've been attacked by so many witches.
I think we've been attacked.
Didn't
by
we die
witches.
once? Anyway, besides the point.
I mean, you did. I don't know about me, but yeah. Anyway, but no, it's really cool. It's really interesting. Amazon is doing this.
Amazon is hopping on the animated train.
Yeah,
and
it was based off a 6-issue comic. And it's really cool. Snyder will executively produce.
Do you know who's doing the animation?
I'm not sure. There's stuff about Project 51 Productions and Plan B Entertainment is going to be working on it.
Right.
Plan B had originally intended to adapt the comics for a while. So,
right. Okay.
And it's just cool. It's cool horror based off a comic. Animated series. That's gonna be cool. Horror animation. I'm gonna watch it. Louis is definitely gonna watch it.
100%. I love witches. I'm terrified of witches. They're the only thing that scare me.
There you
witches.
There you go. Or this film that we're.
Now I'm excited. Anything after this is gonna be boring.
Louis is gonna love this one. Dexter Origins.
Fuck you.
It's confirmed. Showtime has confirmed this show. The prequel to Dexter, and more spin-offs may be coming.
I fucking hate this.
So Dexter Origins. I haven't seen the show.
I hate this.
Louis seen the show.
He
said, "What did you say? It makes no sense to do a prequel.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Why does it? Not
we already know in the show they explain what happens to him. Mm-hmm. They tell you, and they're doing a Trinity Killer spin-off. That man is old.
Trinity Killer. That was one of the spin-offs.
That man is old. And if you get someone else to play him, it's not going to be as good because John Lithgow is that character.
There you go.
Fuck, dude.
The origin story will be set in Dexter's hometown of Miami.
I don't give a shit.
And will touch on stories of real-life serial killers of the time period. That's kind of interesting. That's
What
cool.
we're gonna get the Tooth Killer in season 7 when he like met his famous friend Tooth Killer, the Tooth Fairy Killer, but he learned he was a fucking stupid idiot.
But it's gonna basically dramatize young Dexter Morgan at the outset of his transition into the avenging serial killer he would become. It is set in Miami, that was the hotbed of serial killers of his time, and the show will begin as Dexter graduates college to join Miami Metro, where he meets younger versions of many of the characters we know in the original show.
So are we gonna just see the first kill? We've already seen him do the first kill. It's not gonna be exciting.
I don't know.
I've already seen it.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not too attached to Dexter, so I don't really have anything I can
Fucking
say.
New Blood sucked, and then they're just like, hey, let's ruin the reputation of this shit again. It might be amazing, but it's not what this needs. It needs to be done. Dexter is done. Read the books if you need more Dexter. It's in my opinion. The books are good. I've read some of them.
Showtime is doing this. It's going to be on Paramount Plus, I think.
I've cancelled that subscription.
Yeah, I mean, I intend to watch Dexter sometime, but I'm not too affected by this.
Got a great opening intro.
And Louise isn't too affected by this, seems, as it seems, but no.
How dare you put witches and then this shit?
Okay, well, yeah. And we're coming to the end of our news segment, but before we go, I just want to do a little thing.
Oh yeah, what is it?
I just want to say rest in peace to George P. Wilbur. He means a little bit to me because, you know, this guy, if you don't know him, he's a horror. He's in lots of movies. He was a stuntman, and he played Michael Myers for Halloween 4 and Halloween 6. So I just want to quickly just say rest in peace to the guy because,
rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, those two films may not be the best films in the franchise.
I love the 6th one,
but and I like the 4th one. So there you go. And I'm just saying rest in peace because he's a horror icon, and and I think it's sadly, you know, first Michael Myers to pass. So it sounds mean saying first Michael Myers to pass, but it's sad. As someone who's a Halloween fan,
has to end.
I gotta salute the guy, and he's in lots of other stuff, not just Halloween, but
yeah, that's unfortunate.
Little thing. But now it is time that we review Knock
at the cabin door.
So not the
cabin door.
Knock at the cabin.
Cabin door.
Yeah. So to do that, we have to get into our special angles. So here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Whoa! Oh, we're in a cabin.
Whoa! Whoa!
And that Shyamalan, is that you?
Is it hello? Okay, new angles. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's time to get to the review now of the movie Knock at the Cabin Door. Already said that. By M. Night Shyamalan. Now, normally what we do is we do start off with our positives.
Yes.
Actually, no, we don't. Ron, we start off with our overall feelings.
Yes, you idiot.
And then we get to it. So let's do a little overall non-spoiler feelings, but then we're going to go full-on spoiler heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, Louis, what did you think of Knock at the Cabin Door?
I think that in concept, this has a very good aeroplane. In the concept, this has a really good plot, has a really good story, has some good actors. I just think altogether it does not accumulate into a good horror movie.
Yeah.
It is. I would say it's not very scary. I would say I was not emotionally attached to any other character except for maybe the two leads. I'd say it was quite toothless. I'd say it didn't really it didn't really say anything. It tried to, but what it tried to say wasn't enough, and I will not remember this movie.
Yeah, it felt like a very just one-note movie to me where, like, they set up the story and it goes the way you think it's going to go.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, there's no point... Like, there's a couple of points where maybe at times you might think, oh, what if this? But
yeah, no.
At the end of the day, the premise is the movie, and they don't really, like, the initial premise of this is why we're here.
Yeah.
That just happens, and nothing really changes.
Yeah, there is no...
And I think there's hardly any kind of character growth besides one person.
Yeah.
And I do like most of the characters, to be completely frank.
Yeah.
I do like them. And I think performances, I won't say too much, but it's mostly great. I just, this didn't do anything for this film. This didn't do anything for me, this film. And it just kind of, it didn't, I was like, okay. By the end of it, like, it was a very safe movie to me.
Yeah. It felt like it could have been so much more than it was. But the way it was handled and the way that the subject matter and like the setting of this movie, it just felt.
Yeah, and I haven't seen too many M. Night Shyamalan movies, but like
I've seen 3.
there's like one. Me too, but I think there's this thing where like he has to do all these cool twists and stuff like that. And this film
had
kind of spoilers, not really any twists. It's kind of just that's the premise. But I get it. This is based off a story, and they kind of have to follow the story. I don't know how much they followed the story, but the film just felt
uninspired.
Whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And I hate saying that, but whatever. We'll get into it now. We'll get into it. Spoilers. You've been warned. We're going straight into it. And let's start off with our positives, as we always do.
Okay.
You know, let's just start it off with what we liked about it, because we may spend a lot talking about the negatives. But
do you want to go first, Leah?
I'm happy to go first. Let's just talk about. There's some great performances from everybody. I kind of mentioned it before, but I think I enjoyed everyone really in it. There were moments where I couldn't hear what people were saying sometimes with dialogue, but for the most part, I liked everyone. I sympathize with Dave Bautista, for example.
Yeah.
I could feel for them. I sympathize a lot for the chef lady who had a son.
Yeah.
These characters, not everybody was nuanced, but they were fine enough. Like, this isn't a character work piece, although it kind of maybe is. But I think everyone, they seemed, and I think this movie, everyone seemed like likable enough. And I think this movie, I mean, they even had a part where they're trying to introduce the characters to you when they were talking about it. So you when they go up and talk to, the three, they introduce themselves and talk about their passions. It is kind of cheating in a way for making us understand the characters more,
but
like them more. But I think for the most part, everybody was likable, and I don't. Besides one guy, Rupert Grint, but I think everybody, not everybody, but I think the characters and the acting was good from everybody.
Yeah, I think
for the most part.
I feel like I could feel like they didn't want to do what they're doing, because obviously they have to get these people to kill. One of them has to kill another, and they have to be willing, and that is a difficult thing to do. So I think they did a good job in portraying that they do not want to do this, but they have to. Maybe in the writing it wasn't really there, but in the performances, I
would say the performances are great. I didn't like every character though. I will have to say, and I'll get to that in my negatives. But the performances, though, with what they were given, I think was
separate actor from the actual writing of the thing.
I just think the characters were just interesting, and not interesting, but the acting was great, and even some characters, some positive. I'll give some positive. Some characters you did kind of grow to care for, a little bit, even for the small time that we would have them. I liked it.
Yeah,
I think the characters were decent. So that's also kind of a add on to the good performances. I think some of the characters were decent for what little role they may have had in the film. But not every character, though. I think we'll get to that. But I think the performances, at least, were good.
Yeah. And a positive, I'm just going to not repeat your positive. But
sure.
Another positive I had was, I feel like the opening gave me a lot of goodwill for this movie. I feel like the opening was very well shot and well executed, and had a lot of nuance of Dave Bautista when he meets Wen, which is a very kind of weird, because I didn't really know much about this movie going in. So when Dave Bautista showed up, I was like, this is a strange man meeting a younger girl. What is this? Is he going to be creepy? Is he going to be a good guy? And him actually wanting to understand and know these people, which is probably not a good idea if you're going to ask them to kill each other. But I understand where he's coming from as a character, to try to empathize and understand these people before asking
trying
them.
To prove to them that they're not a threat.
Yeah.
But
and I felt
need to do these things.
And I felt like him coming, and then because I thought he was gonna prepare them for something, because he was kept looking around hearing noise, and I was like, oh, is there gonna be something following them? Is he gonna protect these people? But then it's just waiting for his other friends and preparing this this girl what's going to happen. And I feel like that's a kind of a good way to start off this movie of showing this character. Also, as a teacher, we understand that he's a teacher, so he's good with kids. And I feel like that's a really good moment, and the good and well shot opening. And it gave me some tense vibes, especially when everyone else comes in. It felt me like reminded me of like a cult, like a cult coming in, and I felt like that's such a good opening to this movie. And I feel like if it stuck with that kind of feel, it could have been a lot better and could have been a bit more ambiguous. But I feel like that opening just was a good.
Yeah, and I think that scene really made me kind of like Dave Bautista's character.
Yeah,
it made me see that like he may seem like a big guy, but he is kind of a teddy bear, and he is trying to. And it's also good for his character because he works for kids. Yeah. So he's trying to work with this kid, and I think that's kind of cool and I don't know, thematic with him. I think it's just cool. But yeah, I like the opening scene. I didn't love everything about it.
I didn't love
like
the tilts.
Some of the tilts, like I don't think it really added anything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, are they trying to make me feel uncomfortable? Like, is he trying to make me feel uncomfortable?
It tried too hard.
Like,
I feel like that tried too hard.
It's like, is it needed? But the scene itself on the written
I'm not
talking
about the scene and like what's happening in the scene. The M. Night was just like, Dutch angle. I'm like, no, you don't need that.
And for another positive of me, I'm going to move on to that because I think that this film at certain moments can really make you feel tense. Like, I think that it's mostly in the lead up to the kills, you know, when people have to, you know, when the group has to kill each member
to start
start an apocalypse. Then I guess I don't know, but I felt a lot of tension, you know, when they have to, you know, the first one especially when Rupert Grint, who I thought was great,
when he puts on the white mask.
Yeah, I think when he's like, "You got to look at me," and I'm scared, and he's like crying, and he's like trying to be tough, but he's like he knows what he has to do. That's that got me tense, and that's when I had still high hopes for the movie, and I was like, oh, okay, holy shit. I won't get into the kill itself because we'll talk about it.
Talk that later.
But there were other scenes where, you know, it's mostly for the lead up of the kills that I did feel tense. You know, when, you know, the next lady was put on the white mask again,
and you're not sure if she has a son or not.
Yeah, and you can see that not everyone, but the dad is like. She's gonna be like, stop it! You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this, and it's leading up to it. That was tense, and I think even that opening scene was a little bit tense, but that was really about it. But there were still moments that I don't normally feel a lot of tension in horror movies that we watch sometimes. Yeah. So when you see it, you got to point it out. So I think those scenes
good for your movie
had some tension, and that was good. That was good. Do you want to add anything to that point, or are you good?
No.
No. Fair enough.
I feel no passion for this movie. It is very hot in this room also.
Right. Do you have any other positives and continue?
Oh, you're next. That was my positive.
Well, that was me. That was my positive about tension.
Oh.
But I can go for another one. That's just me being a good transitioner.
I'll do another one.
Transitioning well.
I liked when the little girl. I liked her commitment.
You like the little girl? What the?
Yeah, fuck, dude. No. I liked the actress. I liked the character of the little girl. I liked the commitment and understanding of their parents was cool, and to see that she was helpful in the film, unlike other horror movie children. She wasn't a nuisance. She was actually, oh, this is cool. She's not like dumb and stupid. At least she didn't do much except for at the end part. But I think it was a good thing that she didn't ruin the film in any way. Mm-hmm. She did what she had to, and she didn't wasn't an annoying horror movie kid.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I agree. I liked her. I thought she was.
And I feel like she added some. I feel like they could have done more with her emotional weight between because they're always you have to kill one of them, and it's always which father they're gonna kill. But she could have been the one to die.
Yeah, I was
that. I feel like that could have been explored more. Yeah. Even though they weren't going to, but do something with it. Maybe she's kill me, and they're like, whoa.
In this film, I feel like they hardly explore who we're gonna kill out of us three.
Yeah, it's always just we're not gonna kill.
But we'll get to that in negatives. And move on to another positive for me. I think the effects were great. For the most part, were cool. Yeah. Not in every scene, but towards the end when there's lightning strikes in the background and there's a plane flying by, and then the house when the house was aflame, that was cool. Yeah, and I thought there was just some cool, interesting effects. I just like the lightning bolts. I just think it was a good way of showing in that small isolated location there's an apocalypse happening. Although it wasn't as big, but I don't think they had a bigger budget to do a massive big apocalypse. I just think. Yeah, it was cool.
Good for you, movie.
Any other positives from you?
I liked the concept.
Concept.
I
okay.
like the concept. That's mainly the book it was based on, or short story it was
It's an
based
interesting
on.
concept.
Interesting concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure when we talk about the negatives, we maybe find
Yeah,
we'll
might
find
some good
positives.
stuff in it. The movie was toothless. There was nothing to this movie that was scary to me. I felt no tension except for the lead up to the first 2 kills. This movie would not commit to anything. It would just, because like before this movie, I was like, M. Night Shyamalan goes back to our movie since The Happening.
No, I'll make the different point of view where I think they just committed to one thing and just didn't deviate to be creative.
No, yeah. What I mean by like
that's the concept. We're gonna just stay to that concept.
What I mean by concept, I mean like actual killing.
I know.
Like the killing concept.
Yeah.
It just every time, like I think the biggest reason why the lack of kills, of the creativity of these kills was so impactful to me in a negative way was the whole point of this movie is understanding that if these people don't kill one another, everyone in the world will die. That is a massive stake. That is the biggest stakes you can have ever. So this movie decides to have all the main kills that are meant to be impactful to us, character motivated to us, specifically tailored for our viewing of these characters, watching these people die in front of them in such an impactful way, off camera.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, okay, that was one of my negatives as well.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's what I'm talking.
I feel like it's too big.
No,
big.
but
Let's just cut it down.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay. If we get to that,
what
for
me, it's what the kills mean.
Yeah, I would say
yeah.
a big negative for me is that the kills just they suck because they are off screen. I mean, it feels. I mean, this was this movie MA15 for us in Australia.
I'm not. It felt like an M movie.
Yeah,
they
but
said
if
fuck a lot.
If this was an MA15 movie, or this was, if this is a horror movie, we want to see some kills. We want it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to be impacted that way. The lead up for them were great.
Yeah.
But when you don't see it, I mean, they could have even done some creative stuff. Like we saw them like hit. We didn't see them like. For example, the first kill with Rupert Grint, when they're going in to hit his head, we see a little bit where out of frame, kind of like you see him kind of wobble a little bit, and but we don't see it like dripping down blood. Like we thought that'd be kind of creative.
Because it's the white mask.
Yeah, it's like use that. You should see dripping down blood, but they didn't do that. They just kind of like a little bit of blood and then cut to off screen and then back his body's on the ground. Like that was really uncreative. Especially one of the last ones with Dave Bautista when he cuts his neck. Why not show a stream of blood? But no.
But then they cut it later when it's already down his shirt, and then
they cut away and then cut back to him kind of dead with blood on his neck. It's like it's really uncreative.
Yeah.
Like and you kind of lose the tension in the scene when you know you're not going to see anything.
Yeah.
Like the first 2 were tense. The first 2 kind of kills.
Yeah.
But afterwards, I couldn't give a shit because you don't really see anything.
Yeah, they didn't
it's like-
surprise you with any of it.
It's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, God.
And the reason why I bring in the toothlessness of it is because of the lack of impact in those kills. It makes me not give a shit for everyone else who's dying in the world. Because because the whole point of this is like, we're dying to start the apocalypse or whatever, so you need to kill one another. And I'm like, oh shit, that's so scary. Look at these people dying. But it's done in such a PG way, PG-13M way, that it just loses all impact. So when we're talking about killing each other, all I'm thinking of in this movie is off screen. So I have no imagination or creativity in what that actually means and what tension that's going to bring to the film.
Yeah, the film didn't feel too tense to me. Like, it felt like... Even when they were showing you like bad, apocalypse stuff happening, it didn't feel like we didn't see anything. Maybe I'm just a bit rude, but it didn't seem. Besides the planes falling down, which was kind of scary, it didn't even seem too dramatic on the TV. Like the tsunami.
Oh my God!
The tsunami was like. I want to get to that bit later.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't seem too tense because you just kind of saw the tsunami come and then someone's in the water and it's like whatever.
Not even showing like bodies or like or any
this
like,
is like a horror
damage.
Movie. Make it scary and confronting. Make it seem. I mean, if I saw that on the TV, I would be like, "Holy shit!" But they weren't really affected by it, so it's like. but I get it because they thought it was something else. But
I know, but like even like with the cameraman, we don't see the cameraman. It's just a camera. So when the person dies, it's just like a camera floating in the water.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's scary about this water?
I don't know. I will say so. Basically, kind of the overall negative is that it didn't like none of the kills, none of this added any tension. Like it's weird because it was all off screen. It all was like. I don't know. It like kind of gutsy, as you were saying. It was toothless, so it's just
there was lack of urgency in this movie.
I don't know. I get it. Maybe they got a budget. They gotta restrict what they can do.
It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie with a Dave Bautista lead.
I don't know. It's
that's
just,
gonna have some money behind it.
Yeah, but it just felt a little bit uncreative with some of the kills as well. But that's still broad.
Do one of yours, and I'll look at the budget of this piece of shit.
No, because we're on the topic of like the tsunami scene.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I really didn't like about this film is they had a bit of plot holes that just made no sense to me, or just like, for example, when the news reporter was like saying we got footage from the tsunami, the footage they got was of a phone, like someone being attacked in the water. And a phone in the water. It's like, how did that footage even get to them?
Why? That wasn't a cameraman. Like, that was just a family.
Yeah, and the camera didn't seem like it was dying, which maybe or had some waterproof. But like, who uploaded it to them? Like,
I don't know.
It doesn't. It just doesn't make sense. And I know it may seem like a nitpick, but
it's not. It's a major point of the film.
It's a plot hole. Like, it's a plot hole. And there's other stuff that it may just be us. Like, we maybe just made a mistake. Because we did this thing where we both agreed. We only talked about it like afterwards. Both agreed that when the guy is like looking for bullets to put into his gun, he puts like 2. We both agreed that he put in
maybe
2
he
bullets.
put in 1 off screen, but what it's shown to us, he puts 2 bullets in.
It looks like he puts 2 bullets in. Great.
Yeah.
But then when he at the very end, I shouldn't say spoilers. Because I already said spoilers. We see that he kills Jonathan Groff. Well, that sounds bad and the husband, but who cares? With like the 3rd bullet shot, and it's like, oh, what? Okay, but we thought there was just 2 bullets, and I swear there was like another point of a plot hole
because he only shot 2, and I was like, oh shit, he's gonna shoot.
And we just thought it'd be a cool ending where he's like, he goes in to shoot, but oh shit, he's out of the bullet, like he forgot.
And they all die.
And they all trying to scrimmage to get a bullet, but it's too late, and they all die. And they wouldn't die though.
They wouldn't die.
They wouldn't die.
Everyone else would die.
So it's like, then maybe that wouldn't work. But like, I don't know. There seems points.
Anything else creative in this movie would be fun.
But it just. Yeah.
And do you know what sucks, Leo? I looked up the budget. It was self-financed. M. Night Shyamalan thought this movie was so good that he self-financed this.
Now I feel bad.
$20 million.
I feel bad shitting on him.
I don't. If this is what his passion is. This movie.
This guy, he shouldn't direct. Like, who said let this guy direct? And it doesn't seem like it would ever work for him. I'm sorry. No. No, I'm sure.
Financing his own movie, and this is what you do?
Oh, God,
after decades of movies.
Oh, God, we're going to ruin this guy's whole career. Oh, my God,
after decades. No. Decades of making movies, he's like, this is my passion project. And self-finance.
Yeah, and because we're on the topic, do you mind if I just continue?
I don't give a shit.
Because we went in this going, it's an M. Night Shyamalan film.
Yeah.
We're expecting some twists and turns, baby.
Yeah.
And we didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
This was a very extremely straightforward movie.
Even if it was a predictable twist, at least it would be something.
Yeah. But there wasn't a twist. Like, it's just, they have to kill... like one another, like they have to kill like one person in their family, and then they save the world, and that's exactly what happens.
That's exactly what happened.
No twists.
No twists.
Yes, there's a bit where like everyone, or the the not cult, but the group that came over, they kill themselves, and then they have to do it, which seems a bit like they only got a few moments before they can do it, which seems a bit safe. Like it's like we're gonna kill everyone off because that'd be cool on the screen. Yeah. But they still have moments. Yeah. So they can go and do that. They can save the world. Yeah. So we'll get everyone to die. So it can still be dramatic, but they they got moments. It's like, and how do you know how much time you have? Like it's like it's so iffy.
And the plot and like oh my God. I'm not sure if I'm mega dumb or something, but like
well you are, but that's okay.
Yeah, I know. I have a shirt that says Big Loser on it.
No.
But like them like okay so sorry Rupert Grint, but you're gonna have to die because they declined wanting to kill one another because of a specific time that doesn't get told. We don't know how long in between. They just go like, at a certain time, you have to say yes or no. If you say no, one of us die. We don't know if it's 2 hours, 5 hours. It's wiki wonky. There's no set stakes. So Rupert dies. I'm like, oh shit, he died. And then they show, watch this, and it's a tsunami. And I'm like, and it's like, that happened 4 hours ago. Show the tsunami before killing Rupert, so at least you have some evidence. And then they kill Rupert, and they go, Rupert's gonna now release a plague. Where's the plague?
Okay.
The plague happens after. Did Rupert's kill mean anything? It meant an earthquake that happened after. So did the apocalypse start happening before
Well,
one
I
of
don't know
them
if
died?
the plague happened after.
No, it happened
They
after
just knew
the
about, they
woman's
just knew,
kill.
But I know it happened. So it happened after, but like it wasn't pre-recorded. Like they were saying, it was pre-recorded.
Some of the other shit happened straight after, but some of the other stuff happened took a while. But
Well,
how?
they were saying that at a time. It's weird.
But like, if the apocalypse stuff was already going to happen, because they're like the COVID substitute
okay,
of like,
I'm getting what you're saying. So like,
Yeah, like-
why did Rupert have to die if they already know it's gonna happen?
yeah, if like all this stuff, it felt like all this stuff was gonna happen anyway. I know the movies, it probably wasn't
get what
going
you're
to.
saying.
There probably wasn't going to be a tsunami if one of them died. But how it was presented to me was like, this was shot 4 hours ago. Or like, the plague, this has been happening for days. And I'm just like, oh, so they have to die?
Yeah. Okay.
And I felt like, this feels kind of useless now.
Yeah. Okay. I get you. And also, like, maybe just no. Actually, I shouldn't say that because the plague is big. But it didn't feel like it was super high stakes.
Yeah, it was just some places.
Tsunami is going to attack America.
Yeah, and then like and
then the plague
was
attacking,
like South
American
America,
children.
London, or South Africa, London, and some of
Like it never felt
Yeah.
like, and this sounds horrible, but like it never felt like this is a world-ending thing that's happening.
Yeah,
The apocalypse is going to end the world. It's like it's attacking certain parts of the world,
yeah,
and then planes are falling from the sky, but that's not going to
yeah.
explode countries or whatever. So it's like it
No.
never felt like if there was like a meteor shower,
Yeah.
then holy shit, that's gonna
If
kill
there was
everybody.
a wave of fire like I wanted.
But it just kind of felt like a lot of the stuff was like, oh, it's bad. And I get maybe because maybe it's very biblical.
Maybe we don't care about
Maybe
humanity.
but maybe it's very biblical what's going on.
Yeah.
Like it's raining things. So they say about the planets like raining fire or something like
Yeah.
that. And I don't know. I didn't go to Sunday school. I don't. Know
I went
anything
to weekday school.
about weekday school. It's weird how religious people only go to school on Sundays.
It's
Kind of
really
a
weird.
weird choice. But
God, they only get 1 day of school,
I mean,
but it's 12 hours.
yeah, well, but it's I don't know, maybe because we're not very well
I feel like I know. I feel like I know enough.
Those
Like the
issues.
plague, that's religious. But I feel like some of it was just like felt like fake religious, of like putting on the masks and them doing the little thing and little dance and like your sins have been mankind's sins have been. It felt like someone who was just like, oh yeah, religion, just put it in here. It felt like there was no real research put into it.
Okay.
But like to me, like there's not a big one. It just
I'm
feels
sure
like
there was, but I just
it
it
just
needed to
didn't
be more big in the
feel.
film. It needed
Yeah.
to take a bigger preface.
that's what.
preface
That's why this movie leaves no. Yeah,
because the film was like at the very end they were like, oh, you guys are the four horsemen. It's like what?
Why? Who?
That kind of just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And were they? And I guess you were kind of. You weren't really hinting
Rupert
at
Grint, maybe. Everyone else, no.
It felt a bit. Anyway.
Don't call them four horsemen of the apocalypse. Call them like the four talesmen of the apocalypse. I call them something else, not the four horsemen, because they're the bad guys.
Yeah, and also to add on it, because we're talking about the film as a whole, it all kind of led to this kind of very anticlimactic ending.
Yeah. I feel like this movie, all my negatives are just all one big thing.
Yeah, it just felt like a very safe movie where like, oh yeah, we knew someone in the family's gonna die.
There's-
And it kind of sucks that it was what was his name?
Jonathan Groff.
Jonathan Groff.
Yeah.
Because
Mr.
I
Anderson.
liked him.
Yeah.
Like I have another negative about the other father, which maybe I should get into now.
Oh, yeah, you get into it. I'll read my
I-
other ones.
I didn't love him too much. Like
No, he was kind of a...
I understand that he's been treated like shit. This guy, like
Yeah.
his parents don't approve of him. He's been glassed a couple of
Yeah.
times in the bar.
I think anger
He's
issues
been
and stuff, yeah.
treated like shit.
Yeah.
And no wonder why that is going to make someone who's very stern and angry. And I get that. But there does come a point where, like, does this guy have any heart? Like, he loves
Yeah.
just as he's a husband and of course one, but there's points where like he's saying like you don't talk to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You talk to me. You don't talk to him.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't like that. And he literally at the end is like, fuck everyone. Everyone is horrible to us. We should let this happen. But what do you mean?
Yeah.
Not everyone in the entire world is horrible to you. I mean, there's other people
like,
who are just like you who are going to die. And I get it though. Because there's this motif that's been set up. It's just you and me. And it's so hard. Like, it's so hard to go, I'm going to have to kill a family member. Yeah. So I totally get that. Mm-hmm. But they come to a point where he's hating on everyone. He's like, this is a scam. All of you are doing this to us. Yeah. Which, listen, I get that. Half why he's going to think that way. Because there has been stuff in history where, there's been conversion camps and stuff like that that they probably would assume this kind of stuff. They think they've been targeted. There's literally the guy that glassed him there. Yeah. So I don't blame him. But there does kind of come a point towards the very end.
You think
where I was
more
like,
of like,
oh, your shit. Yeah. Why are you still doing?
You think you're saying like it's more of the scripting of the character, not like, you're not like, oh, this guy like in real life he'd suck. You just mean like the ending of his character writing. I just feel like I just didn't like him too much, and the reason why I'm mad is because I like the other dad more. Like you kind of expecting the other dad to die towards the end. Yeah. And he does. Yeah. So what if you did a little plot twist, M. Night Shyamalan? Yeah. And had the other guy who's been so adamant about not leaving, everyone is horrible to us, to take the fall because he loves his family so much or something like that. Like, I just didn't like the character too much. Like, I get him. I get it. Mm-hmm. But there was nothing... Like, it's hard. In this scenario, he's not going to be some funny, happy guy. No. I don't blame him at all. It just felt like, oh, okay. And it was quick to, no, it wasn't quick. What am I saying? He was not quick to kill his husband, but it just kind of was like, The ending goes into another negative of mine of like, the ending feel like it's just kind of just like, we're at the end. Like, and like, you're dead. And then like, resolution. There is no ending to this movie. There's just resolution. And it just feels
I mean, that was the ending. But it was just, felt like straightforward. All right, it's done. And he was like, oh, okay. He's like, the husband dies. Great, that's done. Straightforward. And we're going to drive off.
Yeah, I felt nothing. I was just like, oh, okay.
I don't know. I felt uncomfortable at that final scene where they're like playing
listening to the song.
It's like, it was kind of an interesting character moment, but like, I would be too much in mourning to even do that. Yeah. And the way that one was just like, cool, I'm going to play this song.
No, she turns it off after.
I know, but it just felt like...
And then he goes like, Leah, put on your shoes. Your boogie shoes.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt a bit...
No, I don't like it either.
I just felt like they weren't quick to go, but... Yeah. I don't know. I felt like just a simple...
And Wen didn't go like, can I see my father's body? Or like, can I like...
This film just felt so straightforward that there was nothing satisfying about the ending.
I feel like you said like, you said this after the movie. You felt like Emma Shyamalan was like, fuck you guys, no twist.
He was like, you guys hate me because I'm doing too many twists. You know me as the twist guy. Fuck you. I'm just not going to do anything. Yeah. All right, no twists. That's it. You're going to get a straightforward movie. All right, no more people getting angry at me. Straightforward. There you go. And it was just like...
Self-funded.
Self-funded. Well, no, I mean... But it's like, this film just felt so... Not basic, but I just didn't love it.
I have an actual negative.
Go for it.
There's no separation between the camera movement, cinematography of the action scenes. When I say action, I mean like the suspenseful scenes and the normal scenes. The whole movie was filmed in such a tonally blank way that when something intense would happen, it'd be like, there's no like, I don't know, but going of, except for the Dave Bautista going,
There's a couple of that. There was a couple of like weird shots.
Yeah.
Can I just...
What I mean is like in a scene of like changes in scenes, of just changing a few shots of, whoa, that's cool, and then go back to this.
But I will kind of, on that point, I will say when they do that, it didn't really add anything to the movie. Like, this isn't an action movie. So when you have those weird kind of like tilts, even when Rupert Grint is like getting beat up by the dad and it's like behind him. Yeah. It was an interesting shot, but they didn't add anything.
Yeah, that's
like
that's what I mean.
Add anything to the movie. Like, it was just like, okay, you're doing a cool shot, but it doesn't even suit the movie. Like, it's a bit like, why? But I still get, maybe you're trying to make it less bland, but even when you're trying to make it less bland, if for some reason you didn't What?
action scene of the beginning is filmed like what every other part of the movie is filmed. So when there are weird shots, it feels out of place and it feels strange. So if the action scenes, quotes, were filmed in a particular way to make it like if the whole movie was just like no blood, no tone, and then suddenly we get shown the blood, crazy, like that's when you can do the twist of like them watching people die, crazy, and then you go back to completely no crazy shots of just standard shots. It goes like, you're like, whoa, you separate, and then suddenly when you see those tilting shots, your suspense builds up and go, oh shit, we're gonna get the thing again. It's like when you watch Paranormal Activity, you're like, oh, this movie, and then it goes to the bedroom shot, you're like, fuck, because you recognize what that visual language means. This movie has no visual language because the only language it delivers is one flat tone throughout the whole thing. There's no separation of what's actually a dialogue scene and a scary scene. They're all shot the same.
Yeah, I mean, I feel it. I don't know. I feel like there were some moments where they were trying to make it a little bit separate, with those weird tilted scenes.
Yeah.
And they felt more fluid. Some of the scenes, there was lots of panning during those scenes, but it wasn't
like
too significant.
That happened in the other scenes as well.
Sure.
Like I can think of when it's behind Dave Bautista's head. It's like, nope.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Just stop it.
All right, one of my final negatives, because this may be a long review and I don't want it to go for too long, is that the flashbacks I don't think serve too much of a thematic purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was some that like showed you one of the dads how he grew to be so tough, like with his parents, like leaving, and then the the you me, the scene. Sure, that was a good flashback, but there was some flashbacks like, them collecting one for the first time. Yeah, that showed them being what they had to do and act like they were friends, because they were gay, which was kind of interesting, but it didn't really add anything to the current story. Yeah. And then there was also one when they just arrived, the flashbacks, they just arrived and they had to jump into the pool together.
I guess that just adds, like, they used to be a happy family,
Yeah, but the reason why I think they put it is to break up the cabin scenes, because there's a lot of cabin scenes. But not every flashback served any thematic purpose, so they kind of just felt like, oh, we're just going to watch the family be happy. We're going to watch them, sing the song in the car. And they were enjoyable.
Yeah, to be honest.
They were my favorite parts of the film.
I was about to say, to be honest, I liked going to the flashbacks because at least it wasn't the cabin.
They were my favorite parts of the film, but as a story, they didn't add anything. There was one or maybe two that did.
The first flashback with the parents, I felt like the only one that really mattered because it had the
that one, and also the one where he gets glassed.
Oh, yeah.
Just to show you, like, of course, Rupert Grint's kind of.
Is that an Australian thing called being glassed?
Well, yeah, I think it's a worldwide thing, getting glassed. Yeah. But besides that, a lot of the flashbacks just didn't serve any thematic purpose besides showing it's a happy family, and they just felt kind of out of place because they like, how was that got to do with this scene? Yeah, you just showing a flashback of them being happy. It's nothing. You could have literally just put that at the front of the film. Yeah, which you shouldn't, because the opening scene's cool, but it doesn't add anything to the next couple of scenes besides
just the pacing.
2 examples.
I feel like we've riffed on this movie enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, because like I do have other negatives, but I don't want to be going for too long.
Yeah.
It's mainly
nitpicks.
A lot of like I just love the same stuff. Mm-hmm. Of this movie just felt unfocused, rushed, badly written in its concept, and just felt like it had a whole bunch of cool, like, we created these weapons.
But here's the thing, though. I don't think it was like, I will disagree with you a little bit. I don't think it was horribly written, but it was just so blandly written.
In its concept.
Okay. I just think it was just so blandly written that, like, oh, this is decent enough. Yeah. That it just didn't make the film interesting. Yeah. Because this is a really cool concept. And there were little moments, I'll give them a little props. There were little moments where I was kind of second guessing, like, is an apocalypse actually going to happen? Yeah. Like, I knew it had to because we were here to watch a film in the cinema. There's got to be something cool. But there were little moments where I was like, maybe this isn't real.
But like, that's the only two ways
that's going to happen. They only happened at the start, and then it was just kind of like, now I've got to rate this thing.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so before we rate it, we must give you our system if you're unfamiliar. What we have at the very bottom of our kind of thermometer, of our rating thermometer, at the very bottom we have Shit Show. This is an awful film, a film that has little to nothing good about it. It's just bad. I hated it. Don't want to see it again. It's just like, oh God, it may appeal to someone, but it's just not us. It's a shit show. Above that is Ball Snorket Out the Door. This is a film. It could be worth watching, but we were just so horrifically bored with it. Or we just didn't enjoy it. Or we just didn't think it was really that good. Like there wasn't, like we just
Wasn't enough.
wasn't great. Like it's some people might like it, of course, but it just definitely isn't us. And then above that we have Disappointment. So this
Book
is a film,
Appointment.
Book Appointment for Disappointment. Sorry, Book Appointment for Disappointment, which is basically a film that like it has some elements that can work. It could be good. But it just in execution doesn't work. It just isn't that great. Maybe one day we'll like it, but at the moment it's just kind of I don't know, man. It just doesn't work. I don't like it. We don't like it too much. Then above that we have Hey It's Fun. Hey It's Fun is basically a film that's like
Good.
It's good. It's enjoyable.
It might have a lot of flaws, but we still liked it overall.
Yeah, it's still gonna be pretty flawed, but you know what? It's fine. It's an enjoyable watch. We probably might see it again. But yeah, it's just an overall good experience. It doesn't need to blow us away, but it's fun. And then above that is Fantastically Splendid. This is a great film. Please check it out.
Yeah.
It's really good, worth your time. It did something for us. It was enjoyable, maybe, but it was definitely it would have to be enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was just a great, solid film, and should be worth seeing. And then above that, at the very top is classic,
masterpiece,
classic.
It's in the name.
So basically, it's kind of a film that we just think is perfect, or just think it's just so damn good that we can't, not give it its praises. Yeah. It's a film that we love so much. Maybe a film that is already loved so much and deserves it. And it's just truly a classic that we'll watch countless times. It's really good and definitely worth your time. So it's weird. When I was rating this thing, thinking in my head, what am I going to give this? I started off kind of on one, and then it went down, and then it went down again. It's like I don't know how to feel about this because like on the surface, it's not a.
It's fine.
It's a fine film.
It's fine.
Like it's not awful or like, offensive in any way. It's fine.
It's fine.
But it isn't that enjoyable.
No.
And I felt bored. So with that, I kind of have to give this a ball snore, get out the door and a half because it is still, it's still a film. And I was going to give it disappointment because I kind of was like disappointed, but it still is a decent film. So that might be more of a better rating. But just because everything that could have been good just wasn't. And it's not horrible.
Yeah.
But I give this the highest ball snore get out the door. Like that seems horrible, but like
this is the best 1-star restaurant.
Ball snore get out the door 0.99. Like it's
same rating for me.
It's like it's on the verge of a disappointment, but I was kind of bored with it.
Because
but here's the thing, there wasn't any moment where I was like, that's actually kind of cool, but it just isn't. Yeah. It was just all like, oh hey, all right.
Because I'd say most of the time, I feel like I'm a bit harsher on films. If I can be like, you can appreciate what's there. Because like sometimes you'd be like, oh yeah, also, but like I can appreciate and I can like understand what's happening. So you saying ball snugging out the door, I was thinking like maybe disappointment, but I was just like, no, you're right. This was boring.
It's not a shit show.
No.
It's not horrible.
No.
It's just like, okay.
I'm going to forget about
the door, so that's why we give it another half. Yeah. But like, it's like a very close to disappointment. That sounds horrible, but it's not. It's just didn't do anything.
It's boring.
And listen, I may watch this again. I don't want to watch this again.
I don't know.
But I don't know.
Why do they have weapons? Why did they build those cool weapons?
Kill each other. I don't know. Why did they
just use a knife?
They just made their own weapons. Anyway,
doesn't make sense.
It's
new rating doesn't make sense.
It's all right. Ball snore, get out the door, and a half for me.
Yeah.
Same for you. Ball snore, get out the door, and a half. All right, that's our rating. And before we say goodbye, we've got to do a little bit of our kind of wrap off trivia quiz. So we'll do that now. Back to the normal angle. Whoa!
Whoa! I knocked on that, Kevin.
We're back. We're back. All right, guys, it's time for us to do our ending segment where we answer the trivia question from last week, which definitely wasn't last week. We should just say last video. We should stop saying last week because we don't. upload that regularly, but we're going to in the new year. I'm
Why
sure
did
we
you
will.
promise that? No,
Okay, well, no. Well, we're gonna keep you.
we're gonna
invested.
try. Yeah.
But now it's time for us to answer the trivia question from last video, and then we'll give you a new one.
Last year.
So last year, oh my god, last year, there you
Oh my
go.
God.
Last year, we asked you because we were doing the topic of Black Christmas,
Yes.
1974. That's the film that we watched.
That's crazy.
We asked you which famous actor turned down the role of Henry. I think was the character's
Is it
name.
Peter?
Peter. No, Peter makes more sense. Peter is
Peter.
kind of the main kind of guy, the boyfriend, I think,
Yeah.
of the main woman.
Oh.
What famous actor turned it down? We'll give you 4 options. I can't remember them all, but I'm gonna give you just the right answer, which is Malcolm McDowell. There you go.
Loomis from the remake?
From the remake. We know him from Clockwork Orange, classic guy
Course.
from Community. We know him.
He was in Community?
Yeah, he was a teacher that was like, oh, when he's being tied up.
Right,
Yeah.
yes. The rope episode.
But no, and that makes sense. He could totally fit into that role, but he turned it down. And I don't know. I think there's maybe something he said about regretting it, but who knows? Who
He's
knows?
famous enough.
It doesn't really
He did
matter too
Clockwork
much.
Orange.
Yeah.
After it?
Yeah, and that was a toned down film. Wasn't as
Yeah.
horrific. No.
Wasn't as horrific.
No, but yeah. Anyway, now we're gonna give you the trivia question for this
Yes.
video. So, because we're on the topic of M. Night Shyamalan and Rupert Grint, here's a cool little question for you Harry Potter nerds out there. 'Cause
I'll leave.
I'm with you. Oh, you'll leave.
I'll leave.
Now, M. Night Shyamalan, Shyamalan,
Shyamalan.
that's how you pronounce it, was offered to direct the Harry Potter movie countless times. 3 times, in fact. But I'm going to name you 4 Harry Potter films. One of them he wasn't offered to direct. So you're going to tell me which of these 4 films was he offered to direct. Okay? Here we go. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
First one.
The first one. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Third one.
The third one. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. The
Fourth one.
And Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix. The 5th one.
Mhm.
So,
which one of these movies would have been really bad?
which one of these would have had twists upon twists? No,
Well, he
no,
didn't
I
write
mean-
them. He would have directed them.
No,
so
direct-
maybe they would have been good.
But yeah. Do you have a guess quickly, Louis?
Let's say Phoenix. You didn't
Order
say
the-
Phoenix.
Order the Phoenix?
Did you say Phoenix?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, let's say
That
Phoenix.
was the 5th one.
Phoenix or Goblet, I'd say.
Goblet. We got to choose one. We got to choose one.
Phoenix.
Phoenix. All right.
Order of the Phoenix.
There you go. So, guess at home. Guess in the comments. Like and subscribe. I know it sounds so cheesy, but hey,
Please do.
It'll help us out.
Please.
And if you enjoyed
we
it,
have audio versions of this podcast.
Yeah.
If you don't want to watch it, listen to it.
Spotify, SoundCloud, everywhere.
Apple.
If you're a horror fan, enjoy it. If you got friends who are horror fans,
We're on
share it.
Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're
This
on all the
this has been a
we're
bit
on
of a loose
everything.
episode. We do tighter ones than this, but it doesn't matter. I hope you enjoyed it.
We have so many episodes.
And yeah, just check out all our videos if you want. And thanks so much for clicking on this and even watching it
Thank
this
you.
far if you did.
Thank
that
you for
means so
knocking
much.
on our cabin.
Yes, because we'll
Door.
always knock on yours.
What?
Good night.